Okay, the next house guest, I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm going to do a boy and a girl. There's rumors going around that this is going to be a battle of the sexes season, so I think it's a very interesting twist. We already know there's going to be two HOHs. They did a whole birds and bees type thing with the design of the house. So, I mean, I can see where they might possibly be doing a battle of the sexes season. But I wanted to do these two together because I think there might be a connection. I may be entirely wrong, but I think there might be a connection. Cody Calafiore from New Jersey. I mean, just look at that. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Just stare all day. I mean, that is just absolutely beautiful. It's a part-time gig that he does underwear modeling. It's not his full-time job. But he's definitely going to be eye candy. Now, Cody actually works for ADP, which is the payroll processing company. Its corporate headquarters is in Roseland, New Jersey. I've gotten incorrect information about this. Somebody had said that the corporate headquarters was in Miami, and which would have made, I mean, it made sense to me because the company that does our payroll for the company that I work for is ADP, and we get our paychecks from Miami. So it made sense to me at the time, so I tweeted about it and went back and deleted the tweets, but I had assumed that Cody originally had been from South Florida, but that was Frankie that was from South Florida, so I was wrong there, but Cody works for ADP, and I'm kind of familiar with ADP, and he has apparently 3 jobs, because you know New Jersey's expensive to live in. ADP's his first job, so he cuts people, he actually is a salesman for their services, so he goes out to the businesses and tries to get them on board with payroll processing. He doesn't actually cut our checks at our company, for instance. But he's also the underwear model, as you can see. He's also a party planner. Now this is where the connection might come in at. He says that he mostly does like bar mitzvahs, you know, kids' parties. Cody Calafiore is, if I remember correctly from the interviews, he's Italian. And Calafiore is like an Italian name. New Jersey, Jersey Shore. So he's got that whole Jersey Shore vibe to him. But I think he may be Jewish. I don't think he talked about his religion at all in any of the interviews. If he did, he touched on it very briefly. He did say he's very close with his family. His dad is a huge fan. Very kind of a close-knit, not so much conservative, but very close, strong family values type family. But he was recruited for the show while he was at a bar mitzvah, doing the party planning. Like they invited him to come on the show, like a lot of the people that are on the show this year. He was recruited. It's kind of interesting because the next house guest I want to discuss in this same video. But he has a lot more girlfriends than he has guy friends. He's very humble. Like, even though he's got a smoking hot body, he talks about how his abs have gone away. They're not as good as they used to be when he used to play sports and soccer and stuff. Because, you know, Big Brother fans are huge at digging up shit. I mean, we've already dug up shit on Caleb and a couple of the other house guests that apparently casting overlooked. But on a Tumblr account, Cody is pictured all hugging up on a guy. Now, I know he does have a brother who also does modeling. And to me, the way I was looking at the picture, it looked like his brother. I mean, I've not seen his brother with a shirt on. Because in this Tumblr pic, the guy had a shirt on. Kind of looked like his brother, like from a few years back or something. That's what I thought. But there were rumors going around on Twitter that Cody could be gay. And that this was his boyfriend. There was also a girl in the picture too, but she had her arm around Cody, and Cody had his arm around the guy. I watched Jersey Shore, so I saw how those boys acted with one another, and if he's like this, the Italian families are very, very close. They hug, so it's not that big of a deal. Bromance is what I'm thinking here. I don't think he's gay. But he correctly predicted that there would be some HOH and veto changes. He said this would be a huge break from the format of the show because those two challenges really have not had much changes over the years. Now, veto, they've added, diamond veto, and, gold veto, golden power veto, all that crap. They've changed some of the formats, how you can use the veto, but they really haven't changed the veto. And HOH has pretty much been standard from the very beginning. The only time HOH cannot be in power is if somebody uses a coup d'etat power, and that's only been on the show, I believe, twice, only used once. So, that was Jeff. And of course, Shima was the house guest that got her HOH overthrown, which, looking back on it now, I don't think it was very fair, but so I completely understand how she reacted the way she did. Now, WeLoveBigBrother.com does interviews with the house guests a little bit differently than the other interview people, the blogs. They make you play games, and they ask you questions like, have you ever stolen? This is a big trap. If you ever go in for an interview for a job, keep this in mind. Any of the ones that are doing like the psychological testing on you, and you have to fill out the little bubbles in the bubble Scantron sheet and crap, because this has happened to me several times. Back in Virginia, when I was looking for a job, I would go to a lot of different places. Of course, I was younger. I was like high school. The questions for like the grocery stores and things, places where you're going to be dealing with product, for instance. Sarah, stop tweeting me. I don't know if that's going to interrupt this video. Last time I've gotten a tweet while I was doing a video, it completely froze the video up, and then it bricked my phone. So, we'll see. But they ask you questions like, have you ever stolen anything? And guess what? If you answer no, you've never stolen anything, they won't hire you because they don't think that you're telling the truth. So, keep that in mind. When they ask these people who are on Big Brother, have you ever stolen anything? About 80 to 90% of the people are going to say, no, it's false. I've never stolen anything. That's a lie. Everyone has stolen something at some point or another, whether it be office supplies, hopefully not money, but I don't think anybody would actually admit to that when they're casting for the show. But everybody's stolen something, and if you say that you haven't, you're a liar. Or you're deceiving yourself. Okay. But Cody answered that he has stolen. He's one of the very few people that has said that he has stolen. It tends to be your more humble people that admit to this. The arrogant ones don't admit to it. Now, I don't know what they're trying to get with this interview question, if they're trying to see if you lie well or you don't lie well, but it's neither here nor there. Okay. He said that just read the funny tweet from one of my coworkers. Cody admitted to stealing pencils when he was like in grade school. So that's the extent of his admission. Going on to the second house guest, the least interesting of the two house guests that I'm reviewing in this video is Victoria from Florida. She's Israeli American. She's a huge fan of the Israeli version of Big Brother. She's Jewish, of course. She's a photographer. She's very conservative. In fact, she's so conservative that she will not leave her parents' home until she's married, because that's the culture there. She talks about how whenever she's in Israel for the summer, she watches Big Brother there, and she's, the culture is just very different between the United States and Israel. And a little side note, that is on my bucket list of things to do. I I am in love with Israeli culture, so on my bucket list of things to do before I die is to travel to two places. Egypt, to see the pyramids and the Sphinx, and all of that nine. Also, to go to Israel. I would love to go and see Tel Aviv, Haifa, the Dead Sea, Jerusalem, of course, go to Nazareth, do the whole ancient history bit. I mean, I just find their culture so fascinating, and it's a very huge culture difference between Tel Aviv, which is more westernized, more European, and Jerusalem, which is more old school, you know, with the different religions and everything. I mean, that is on my bucket list of things to do, so I'm very interested to watch her and listen to her on the live feeds and find out more about Israeli life. But she mentioned she was recruited at a bar, actually. She wasn't, she didn't apply like a normal person. She was recruited at a bar. Now, she says that she's very, loud. She's, outgoing, so that catches people's attention, but it didn't really come across in the interviews that much. People on Twitter have got her all wrong, too, because I've heard a lot of people on Twitter say that they believe she's going to be the whore of the show. She's not going to be a whore. The reason why is because she says that the man has to be perfect. She's very picky. And, I mean, literally, she says he has to be perfect. She had a fiance, or a guy tried to be her fiance, and she turned him down and broke his heart, apparently. And she really didn't want that information to get out because she feels that people will see her as very cold, very, very mean. Now, I find it very interesting. If Cody is spending most of his party planning at bar mitzvahs, which, I mean, that kind of makes sense if you're a party planner. I mean, you're going to get more business in, New Jersey, New York area with doing, like, bar mitzvahs. As an Italian-American, I don't know if he is Jewish or if there's a Jewish in his family, but it's possible. I mean, there may be a casting connection here. A Jewish cast recruiter may have saw him in New Jersey and thought, hey, maybe this guy's Jewish. Let's get him on the show, because they may have known about Victoria already had been cast, and let's see if there's some spark there. I don't know. It's a possibility, in my opinion. But Cody is from New Jersey. He's not from South Florida, like I'd gotten some wrong information about before. Victoria is Jewish. It's going to be very interesting to see the dynamic of them on the show. It's not uncommon for there to be at least one Jewish American on the show. Remember, Andrew from a few years back also was. But this seems like a very diverse cast, so I'm going to be very interested to see how this plays out. If it is a battle of the sexes season, boys versus girls, it's going to be interesting to see if any showmances do develop, and if that throws a kink into the HOH situation, because HOH has to share a bed, a boy and a girl. There's also that Team America thing thrown in. So one of the teams may be Team America and the other might be everyone else. And that's going to fuck with some people's heads. Because they're going to go on the other team, they're like, okay, those people are so popular, they're on Team America. America likes them. They're going to reward them. They're not going to reward us. So we have to fight really hard to make sure we stay in this game. We must be unpopular. People just don't like us on the outside. But that is Cody and Victoria. In my next video, I believe I'm going to do Caleb, because there's a lot more information about Caleb that's come up in the past few days than we knew about, and apparently the casting directors knew about. So we're going to discuss Caleb.